Open your book to page 301. Today's lesson is solving equation. Let's go to page 301 and let's start with example 1. Example 1 it says find all solutions exactly for equation 2 sine square x plus sine x equal to 0. So the normal way, the way to do it is you do the factoring. So go and factor out the sine x. So you end up with 2 sine x plus 1 equal to 0. And after that you set it equal to 0 to solve. So you got sine x equal to 0. And you got 2 sine x plus 1 equal to 0. Right? Just like algebra. Then from here, so you have to draw your triangle on this. So sine is vertical. Vertical equal to 0 is right over here and right over here. So this will give you the 0. And normally, if it doesn't give you the boundary, you can just do the just go and do the one period. So notice the boundary in the solution right below over there. It tells you to do it. It tells you to do it from 0 to 2 pi. So the bracket means include. The parentheses means does not include. Because, so you have to watch this. So if this is a bracket, then the answer will be 0 and 2 pi for here. But if it's parentheses, means it does not include 2 pi. Okay? So you only get 0. Over here, this is pi. So you have to watch if it's bracket or parentheses. So again, bracket means include. Parentheses means does not include. So if this is a bracket, then your answer would be 0, pi, 2 pi. Okay? So just be aware of that. Now let's go and solve this one. So you minus 1 on both sides. So you got 2 sine x equal to negative 1. Then you divide by 2, divide by 2. So you got sine x equal to negative 1/2. So you draw your triangle. So negative 1/2. Negative 1/2, right? So this one is going to be 7 pi over 6. And this would be 11 pi over 6. So your total answer would be, you don't have to write in order if you don't want to, so it doesn't matter. So you got 0, pi, 7 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6. And that would be your answer. Okay? So there's a quick way of doing this, okay? But you have to be very careful. So second method of doing this kind of problem is that divide this by sine x. So just divide by sine x. So if you divide by sine x, you're going to end up with 2 sine x plus 1 equal to 0. Okay? But when you divide by variable, you're making assumptions. When you divide by variable, you assume that it's not equal to 0. So that means you're going to end up losing some answers. So to recover that answer, whatever you divide, you have to set it equal to 0 to recover that missing answer. And so once you get that, it becomes this. See that? Because sometimes it's harder to factor. Sometimes it's quicker just going to divide. But remember, whatever you divide, you have to set it equal to 0 to get that answer back. Because if you don't set it equal to 0, you only divide and you get that, you're going to be missing these two answers. So just be aware of that. So again, this is much quicker than do factoring. Okay? But once you divide and you set it equal to 0, you recover that and it becomes this and it will be the same thing. Okay? Let's go to example 2. On page 302, example 2, it says find all solutions exactly for sine 2x equal to sine x. So you got sine 2x equal to sine x. And the boundary is from 0 to 2 pi. Again, watch this over here. It does not include the 2 pi. So this one includes 0. This one does not include the 2 pi. So pay close attention to the boundary. It will affect your final answer. Okay, so what you want to do, you want to get all the function in terms of x. So when you have 2x, you have to use identity. If it's a theta over 2 or x over 2, again, you have to use identity. So sine 2x equal to 2 sine x cosine x equal to sine x. And again, I'm going to divide by sine x. so I don't have to do factoring, save a lot of steps. Because if you don't do that, you have to minus sine x on both sides, make it equal to 0, and you have to do factoring. So take a few more steps. So it's much quicker if you just divide by sine x. So you get 2 cosine x equal to 1. But remember, when you divide by variable, you have to set it equal to 0 to recover the answer that you chop off. So you have to set it equal to 0. Okay? So now you can go and solve. So divide by 2. And draw your picture. So cosine of 1 over 2. So this is 1 over 2 and 1 over 2. So this one is pi over 3, and this is 5 pi over 3. Now this one over here, sine is vertical equal to 0, so you're going to get this one here and this one here. And again, this one you have to pay close attention to the boundary. So this one is 0, and this is pi. Now, if there's an equal over here, then you have to including 2 pi as your answer. This one does not include 2 pi, so do not include the 2 pi. So pay close attention to these, especially this one here. So your answer would be 0 pi, pi over 3, 5 pi over 3. And that would be answer for example 2. Now let's go to example 3. Example 3, it says find all solutions exactly in degree measure for sine theta over 2 equal to cosine theta minus 1. So again, this one, the angle is theta over 2. So you have to find a way to make it into theta. So again, you have to use identity. So sine theta over 2 is plus or minus square root of 1 minus cosine theta over 2 equal to cosine theta minus 1. But now this is a mess, so you have to find a way to simplify that. So what you need to do is you need to square both sides. So square both sides. So plus or minus, when you square it becomes plus. Square root and square cancel out, so you end up with 1 minus cosine theta over 2 equal. Now when you square this, you have to remember the middle term. Okay, when you have binomial, when you square that, there's a middle term. Most of the mistake will come when people forget about the middle term. So you square this, you get cosine square theta. And the middle term, you get minus 2 cosine theta. And you square it, you get plus 1. So remember your middle term. Then your next step is go ahead and get rid of the fraction. So multiply by 2. So you get 1 minus cosine theta equal to 2 cosine square theta minus 4 cosine theta plus 2. And because of the square, I need to move everything to the right hand side. I need to make it equal to 0 so I can do factoring. So minus 1 plus cosine theta plus cosine theta. So I get 2 cosine square theta minus 3 cosine theta plus 1. Then I need to do the factoring, so use the master product. So this negative 3 and 2. So I need to use negative 1 comma negative 2. So I get cosine theta 2 cosine theta. So this is going to be the inside, right? For your method, this is going to be the inside, right? So this would be minus 1. 2 times negative 1 give me the negative 2. And this would be the outside. So it would be minus 1. Right? Again, so inside, outside. So now you go and set it equal to 0. So you're going to get cosine theta minus 1 equal to 0. You get 2 cosine theta minus 1 equal to 0. And in this case, they tell you the boundary in the step 2. They give the boundary. The boundary is from 0 to 720 degrees. Okay. So watch the boundary. Oh, this is parentheses. Okay, so from here, let's go and solve. So you got cosine theta equal to 1. So when you draw your triangle, cosine is horizontal. So when it's equal to 1, it's right over here. So this would be 0 degree. And notice this had to go around the circle twice, right? So 0, and you're going to get 360. And you go around one more time, it's 720. But this one, it says do not include 720. So you only go 0 and 360. Now over here, you're going to get 2 cosine theta equal to 1. So cosine theta equal to 1/2. So when you draw your triangle, it's going to be right over here. So 1/2. And also this one down here. Right, there are 2 possibilities. So this is 60 degrees. And this is 300 degrees. Now you have to go around circle one more time, right? This is 2 circles.
Melanie Simmons to the upper school office, please. Melanie Simmons to the upper school office.
Okay, so go around the circle one more time. So you add 360, so it'd be 420 degrees. This one you add 360, you get 360, so it'd be 660. So now you have 6 answers. Then what you need to do is, you have to be careful, don't include all that, because remember, when you square an equation with a variable, you end up having extra answers. So you need to go and put each one of these into original equation and see if it works out. Okay, so for example, you put 0 in here, you're going to get sine 0 equal to cosine 0 minus 1, and you check and see if it works out. So the one that works, okay, again, we're not going to spend time to do the checking, so you can do the checking yourself. So the one that are good would be 0 degree, 360 degrees, 420 degrees, and 660 degrees. So 2 of them are no good. So the 60 is no good, and the 300 is no good. Okay, so these 4 are good answers. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so let's go and do some practice.